Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's broadcast of Johnson County Sports Live, brought to you by Martin City Animal Hospital, as the Cavaliers, still undefeated on the year, an undefeated 2025, hoping to keep it going here in 2026 as they take on a Treasure Valley team, also looking to continue their hot start to this season. Hi, everyone. I'm Aaron Feely alongside Brennan Bolin here on tonight's broadcast of Johnson County Sports Live. And Brennan, it's looking like it's going to be a good one between the Cavs and the Chukars.
Yeah, and you look at this Johnson County team, and they've been rolling so far, and they have their third player to be nominated for the KJCCC Division II Player of the Week in Ananda Ford. And how phenomenal has Ananda Ford been this season? And she had a phenomenal game against Parkland College. She made 13 of 16, and she had 26 and 10 against the 10th ranked Parkland College Cobras. And I mean, Aaron, Ananda Ford's just been dominant so far. And I think when you look at this game so far against the Chukars team, who's had probably quite a travel to get here so far, coming all the way from Ontario, Oregon, I mean, this game for both teams is about how much rust can you knock off from the break. Johnson County, they've not played since December 12th, so that's a couple weeks into the start of the new year, where Johnson County, they're going to look to continue the hot streak, but this Chukars team is led by two phenomenal guards in Lily Mallory and Ava Cuff.
Yeah, obviously both of them over double digits as far as their average to this point in the season. They're going to be facing off against a Johnson County squad that we talk about it pretty much every time we've got them on the broadcast. So versatile, Brennan. We always want to bring up the three-point shooting, especially from Layla Scott. We're down one Scott this year from what we had last year as far as the three-point shooting. But Layla is still unbelievable from that range. And then that's not even all they can do to you as far as the danger that the offense brings. This is a team that can absolutely go down low and beat you with the rebounds. Second chance baskets. They have a lot of big bodies they can throw down there. Defensively, they can shut you down. They're very disciplined. It's a team that just doesn't seem to have any obvious weaknesses. And so for another good squad like Treasure Valley to come in here, what does it do to you mentally when you come to a place like Johnson County and you have to really dig deep to see, all right, there's nothing we can exploit. We're just going to have to beat a really good team by being better than them.
I think the one thing that Treasure Valley has to understand is that this Johnson County team, like you mentioned, they have no weakness. They can score in many ways, but the biggest thing I've seen from most of their games is you have to guard the paint, because Johnson County, if they can't get it from the perimeter, they're going to attack you inside, and they have all the guards in the world that can do it. You look at Layla Scott. Mia Adams has no fear. She also had a hot start. Ananda Ford also loves to drive in. And you have great three-point threats like Corey Holzer, who can come off the bench and attack you from the perimeter. If she has a hot hand, she can shoot the ball lights out, and she normally makes about 3 trays a game. So this is a Cavaliers team that has no weakness, and they defend the ball really well, only letting up 46 points per game. That's the top in the KJCCC and amongst the top 10 in the NJCAA. So this is a Cavaliers team that you're going to have to guard the paint first of all, but you're just going to have to defend your butts off against this Cavaliers team because they have no weakness right now.
No, they've almost got a full lineup of double-digit scorers to this point, 4 on the season, averaging over 10 points per game, and Holzer's already way up there. I mean, 9.3. You're really looking at a team that is really, really close to averaging over 10 points per player per game. That is insane. You know, we talked about how ridiculous it was that Treasure Valley had 2. Johnson County, they can spread that ball out like you were talking about. Should be a great contest here that we're just about ready to see the Johnson County Cavaliers starting lineup we were just talking about.
First off, we have a sophomore guard, standing at 5'5", from Omaha, Nebraska, number 3, Kara Strickland.
Kara Strickland, somebody we don't talk about much. she's very versatile. She's a really great defender, and she just adds to that guard depth that Johnson County has. And then, of course, Layla Scott, the three-point threat, two-time KJCCC Player of the Week. And then somebody else that doesn't get enough love that should, Carly Ellick. I mean, she's been one of the most dominant forwards down low. She doesn't score that much, but she makes up for it in her defense and her rebounding. And they're going to need her tonight because Treasure Valley has 4 players that stand over 6 foot. Ellick stands at 6'2", one of the tallest on the floor tonight. So they're going to need her tonight with her size.
Yeah, it's a really good battle of 2 top-tier rebounding squads. And there Ananda Ford rounds out the starting lineup. Actually, Ananda Ford, not one of the 6-foot-plus players on this Johnson County team, but definitely among their better rebounders. There is a certain technique to it other than just being taller than your opponent, and Ford has some of the best rebounding techniques, some of the best body positioning you will see across basketball. She's been incredible at it all season. As we are ready for the opening tip-off, won by Ellick, and Kara Strickland will bring it up court for Johnson County. Over to Layla Scott. Now gets it to Ford. Shot for 3. Drilled it, and Layla Scott gets things started in a very Layla Scott way. A 3-point shot drilled.
And I mean, that's the top of the perimeter. That's her specialty right there. If you can knock it down from the top of the perimeter, you can knock it down anywhere. Layla Scott showing no rust on her whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Layla Scott takes too many full days off regardless. Have to imagine she's been in the gym working on that pretty much throughout the winter break. Sure. And it shows early on in this one as now Strickland brings it up court. Wide open is Ellick. And could not quite convert on the easy lay-in. So a rare mistake there from Johnson County. Shot for 3 to tie this one up, and that one missed the rim.
This is a Treasure Valley team. They're not really that dominant from the three-point range. Only 23% from 3, but it ranks among. Excuse me, they average 23.5% from the field. That's 23rd in the NWAC.
As they almost had Ellick wide open right under the basket once again, but just unable to convert on that pass. It ended up being tipped out of play there. And so Johnson County plays it off an inbound. Here's Layla Scott. She's got our only 3 points today, and she'll go to the line to try to add to it.
That's a great job by Layla Scott, seeing the open space, willing to go with her right and drive in and attract that foul, and they're going to attack Grace Hogan with that.
So we'll see if Layla Scott can add to this Johnson County lead, and she will with the first free throw.
85% from the free throw line, and this is a Cavaliers team that if they go to the line, they're going to knock it down almost every time. Leads the conference at free throw percentage at 75%.
Well, and they're 100% to start off today. Layla Scott 2 for 2 on that first trip. Another quick 3, that one airballs. You talked about not a prolific three-point shooting squad coming in, and thus far 0 for 2 right off the bat. Ford dishes, Jennings puts it up and through.
That was Mia Adams
sorry,
there.
Mia Adams, yeah.
How about Mia Adams, that little hesitation right there on the drive. Just got herself enough space to be able to make that layup, and Johnson County already a 7-0 run to start.
And there's a three-pointer. One finally goes through as Ava Cuff able to put points on the board now for the Chukars.
And this is an exciting ad for the Chukars in Ava Cuff. She's a prolific scorer. Was an All-East Region second team member last season as a freshman. Started all 29 games for the Chukars, and that was an addition that they really like to have.
And an addition that the Johnson County Cavaliers really like to have is the addition of the ball after they were on defense there, able to take it away. Layla Scott missed the shot, but an easy rebound turn points for Ananda Ford.
Just came flying from right behind, had that little jump stop to be able to create that opportunity to make that layup. And a thing that Johnson County can do phenomenally is second chance points. They run the show in that category.
And it's given them a 6-point advantage here early. Shot for three, trying to get their way back into this thing quickly. And that one, another miss from long range. As Treasure Valley now has to get back defensively. Johnson County will get this moving around the perimeter. Layla Scott trying to spin inside, now dishes outside for Strickland. Gets it over to Ford. Ford will shoot a three. Ford's shot no good, and the rebound corralled there by Mallory. So Treasure Valley now will work it back into the offensive end. Sent outside. Another three-point try and another miss. So just nothing opening up in the paint for Treasure Valley to this point. And that pass is going to end up into the cheer section.
And the thing I love about this game so far is both these teams, they're trying to push the pace as fast as they can. And you see, as soon as somebody gets a miss, somebody grabs their rebound, they're taking off. They're trying to go as quick in transition as possible to catch the other team off guard. Not really much time to set up the offense for either team.
Now they'll try another three. As we continue to talk about it, not a great deal of much able to be set up here for this Treasure Valley offense. They are forced into yet another long distance shot and another miss. Get it into Strickland, and Layla Scott will bring it up court. Pressured there, well defended by Hogan, but Scott works her way through and puts it up and through.
They've managed to get by this full court press that Treasure Valley puts on. And Layla Scott using the speed to get around.
And finally, a lane opened up there for Cuff, but could not get the finish. Over to Ellick, now to Scott. Gets a screen from Ellick, she'll try to drive, puts up the shot, and she'll go to the line.
That's a great ball screen by Ellick. Scott is able to move her woman with her to be able to drive in the paint, saw an open lane, and then collects the foul. Back in the line for the second time tonight.
Shooting two shots, number 10, Layla Scott.
And Scott hits the first.
Already 3-3 so far. I mean, you can't ask for much better.
She'll try to keep it going. We'll see if we can get a little better. How about 4 for 4, Brennan? As we'll get a quick substitution.
Subbing in for the Checkers, number 5, Lily Mallory, and number 21, Lucy Richards.
They just wanted to get Mallory and Richards quick breathers before they put them back in the game.
So now it's Grace Hogan bringing this one up. Drive, pulls up, takes the shot off the front of the rim, no good. Layla Scott the rebound. Outside, Adams for three, off the rim, no good. But gets her own rebound, dumps it down low to Strickland, gets it to Ellick, then Ellick will drive, no foul called, and could not corral the rebound. She had it in the fingertips, but couldn't quite secure it. Back the other way, sending it up top, this is Hogan. Hogan drives. Hogan scores.
Hogan, a experienced sophomore that Chukars loved having, and beautiful finish by Hogan.
Adams couldn't quite get that one spinning around. And the Chukars will come away with possession, hoping to get a little bit of momentum going here. Hogan will continue to play point here, directing some traffic. Dishes, turns, fires, off the rim, no good. So now Kara Strickland back the other way. Has to pull up, wait for something to open itself. And now Strickland will direct traffic. Give that one off to Adams, tipped, corralled for just a moment by the Chukars, and then taken back by Johnson County. Great hustle to get back there by Johnson. Strickland tried to keep it alive. It's corralled there by Mallory. And here comes Treasure Valley back the other way.
Just trying to force a shot and trying to keep it alive like you mentioned, but how about this Chukars team? Very physical start off the game.
Well, you got to try to do whatever you can to throw off the timing of this Cavaliers squad. Mallory a drive, not gonna go. What a clean block and take by Layla Scott. And she pulls up, shoots a three, and drills it. My goodness, what a sequence from Layla Scott.
Talk about going coast to coast. Get a block on one end and then secure the layup on the other, and then just falling apart defensively there.
Yeah, Riley Calkins with a great move to get right to the rim. Now back the other way, Mia Adams will try to match it. Shot comes up just a bit short, and here come the Chukars. Over to Hogan, down low, spinning, shooting, drawing the foul.
It's just a matchup that the Chukars liked. You find Calkins down low, and you go to work down low, and you collect that foul.
And it looks like we'll step aside briefly for a media timeout. 3:13 left to go here in quarter number one. Cavaliers with a commanding 9-point lead here in the first on Johnson County Sports Live, brought to you by Martin City Animal Hospital. Back in out of the break. 16-7, Johnson County in the lead, but Riley Calkins is at the line ready to shoot 2 free throws.
Aaron, a good chunk of this roster is from where you used to work out in Idaho.
Oh yeah, my old Star Valley, Wyoming days at good old Star Valley Independent Media. We did quite a bit of work across the border with the Idahoans and their lovely, lovely potatoes. Back down low as we'll get a travel here called against Johnson County. Layla Barnes couldn't keep the feet set. And yeah, you're talking about the eastern border there of Oregon. A good, healthy chunk of this roster comes from the Mountain States. Idaho, a good portion of it. They got quite a bit of Utes as well, I noticed.
Yeah, only one player from Oregon that's on the roster.
So send this one up top. Mallory, the shot off the rim, no good. Rebound corralled there by Jade Warren. Warren trying to bring it back the other way. Stops on a dime, but unfortunately wasn't able to handle that one cleanly. And so the second consecutive Johnson County possession ends with a self-induced foul and a turnover.
They called the double dribble on that, and just looked like trying to go for the crossover move, just kind of carried it a little bit on the pickup. And
then trying to go back the other way. Skyte Wilson, a tremendous defensive play, and just barely couldn't keep it in bounds. Gonna try to drive the lane. Oh, and a hard foul there. They're gonna call the block against Johnson County.
Wow. We're going to get Corey Holzer on that block, and that's a great, phenomenal drive by Ava Cuff right there.
That's going to give her a pair of opportunities here from the line to try to get into double digits here alongside Johnson County. First one had a bit too much on it.
Cuff out of Nephi, Utah, which I learned that it's pronounced like Wi-Fi, so Nephi, and then at a Schwab High School.
Unfortunately, though, 0 for 2 from the free throw line. And then back the other way, no foul called there. And so a quick attempt at a fast break coming back the other way. Mallory's shot no good. Rebound corralled by the Chukars. And then a travel going to be called against them.
That's a great job by Ford hustling back on that open breakaway and getting enough pressure to force that missed layup there.
And so off the Layla Scott inbound, it's Skyte Wilson bringing it up court for Johnson County. Wilson to Ford. Scott thought about it. Now pulls up. Now she'll shoot that three, and she's dangerous from that range. You just cannot leave number 10 wide open from any distance.
Seriously, cannot, and she's knocked it down about everything given to her.
Trying to go down low, and here Ananda Ford playing some quality defense. Now she'll try to take it coast to coast, and she draws a foul.
That's a great job by Ford going to the hop step move. We'll call it on the floor.
That's a big time break there for Treasure Valley. So it'll keep Ford away from the free throw line, and we'll see if Johnson County can generate some offense the traditional way as Jade Warren tries to turn, shoots, draws the foul. So we're going to get a Cavalier at that free throw line one way or the other here, Brendan.
Yeah, it's one way that Johnson County is going to try and hurt Treasure Valley is getting to the line, and Lucy Richards just stands at 6 foot even. I mean, Warren, anytime, she's just going to try and drive in and collect that foul any time she gets.
And she's able to turn it into at least 1 point. We'll see if she can go 2 for 2.
How about Jade Warren this season, Aaron, off the bench for the Cavaliers?
A double-digit average to this point. And she's got 2 early in this one. Hits the brakes. Gives it back, Culkins. Gives it to Cuff. Cuff, unable to convert it, and Layla Scott comes down with the rebound. Scott to Wilson. Wilson a drive. Wilson a nifty move, but couldn't get the finish. And then a foul on the floor after Lucy Richards came down with the board.
Yeah, just one of those ones where you just try and play aggressive off the missed basket, and just unfortunate that somebody just had to slap an arm. But that gives in turn Treasure Valley the chance to slow it down a little bit.
They'll go down low for Culkins. Culkins shot, no good. Rebound, Jade Warren. She's gonna try to come back the other way with some speed. Dishes to Barnes. Barnes puts it up and through.
They wanted to carry there, but they weren't gonna get it.
Nor are they gonna keep the possession of it.
Subbing in for your Cavs, number 3, Kara Strickland.
And so it was fortunate there for the Chukars that it was tipped by Johnson County before it headed out of play. Spinning, shooting off the side of the backboard. It doesn't last long though, and Jade Warren coming back the other way. Dishes to Ford last second. Ford tipped, blocked shot, corralled here by Treasure Valley. Going far side. Triple team down low, shot for 3, not gonna go. Corrals the rebound. And that shot wouldn't have counted even if it had gone in. Didn't regardless, and we'll go to the second quarter with a 15-point Johnson County lead here on Johnson County Sports Live, brought to you by Martin City Animal Hospital. of the quarter break. Cavaliers begin the second quarter with a 15-point lead, but Chukars begin with the ball, but won't be able to turn it into any points. Jade Warren now. Back the other way, Johnson County. Gets it to Strickland. Working in on Cuff, gives it off to Warren. Warren will try. She'll shoot the lane. Won't go, but rebound corralled by Barnes, and she puts in the second chance opportunity.
Barnes has been a stud rebounding for this Johnson County team. Before the break, had 2 double-doubles straight up, so they love to rely on her to go to the bench, bring out Layla Barnes, and be able to score on second chance points, on drives, and especially be able to collect rebounds.
She's been really good at it when she has been given the playing time thus far this year. That one ended up out of play. Very nearly yet another takeaway for this Johnson County defense. Hogan gives it. Made its way over to Richards, and now it finds its way over to Munch. Now to Cuff. Up top, three-pointer, no good.
Treasure Valley has just been forcing the three-point ball so far today, and it's just not gone for him.
Now we speculated in pregame that they might try to work their height advantage and get down low, and that has just not been the case all night. As Mia Adams has been a little bit off with her shots, she has displayed some excellent finesse and some quality moves to this point. Just hasn't been getting the buckets to go.
And those are the kind of shots you want from Mia Adams, to be able to go for the drive.
Another three-pointer that's just not going to convert. And Treasure Valley continues to have struggles from there. And Mia Adams must have heard me and gotten upset and drills a three-pointer just to prove us wrong, Brennan. The shot looks fine, as we'll take a quick timeout here and step aside. 8:10 to go in the first half. Johnson County in control. Back in out of the timeout, 30-8. Cavaliers are absolutely steamrolling out there. Chukars trying to work their way back into it. Cuff's open. She'll try another three, and another three is not going to go through for Treasure Valley. Rebound ultimately collected by Johnson County. Pass was tipped. Still keeping it alive, however, and that one ends up out of play. Last off the Cavaliers, so the Chukars will get it for the inbound.
That was just a chaotic possession right there. Another three missed, and Johnson County just trying to work it up the floor. The initial skip pass is blocked, and then it's just a fight for it, but Johnson County the last ones to have a hand on the ball.
Turns, shoots, not gonna go, and Barnes collects yet another rebound. Gives it to Strickland. Strickland will work it up court, then give it to Adams. Finds its way back to Barnes, then to Holzer. Good movement here, Johnson County. Strickland dishes to Barnes, last second outside. Holzer's wide open, she'll shoot a three, and that one rims in and out. Ends up out of play. It will be Chukars' ball, and they're very fortunate to get this back without any more points on the board for the Cavaliers.
They're very fortunate that it just rimmed out, because that looked money from Corey Holzer, but just unfortunately rimmed out, and then kind of just miscommunication there on who's going to go for the ball underneath between Barnes and Jennings there, but excuse me, that was Strickland down there, but just one of those unfortunate situations for Johnson County to not get points in that possession.
And now Hogan almost lost the ball. Great defense there by Adams, and then Hogan able to drive the lane and turn it into 2. So Treasure Valley welcome to double digits here this evening.
That's their first time scoring in over a couple minutes, and it's a much-needed basket because Treasure Valley just looked like nothing was going to fall for them, whether it's inside or outside, and Mia Adams is going to sink that from 3.
So back-to-back three-pointers go through for Adams. Driving, no good. Rebound, kept alive by the Chukars.
I'm going to say someone stepped out of bounds. Actually, no, they're going to call a push on Jade Warren, or Strickland, excuse me.
So they'll sub Strickland out. Into the game comes Jocelyn Moore. And for Treasure Valley, they'll play it off the inbound. Here's Hogan. Hogan dishes outside. Back up to her. Down low again. Get that one to Moore. Moore's shot not going to go. Loose. Corralled by Jocelyn Moore of Johnson County, and she'll bring it back the other way. Holzer down low, and there's Jennings. And McKenna Jennings with her first points of the game, and she was wide open.
Kind of just throwing a 4-out motion play, and they kind of just forgot about Jennings, who's just sitting in that low block all alone.
And a three-point bucket. They finally successfully chased it, and Ashton Moore converts.
That's a huge momentum boost for the Chukars right there.
Yeah, they've been looking for those baskets all night long, and they have just not had the three-pointer in them tonight, but that one looked good. That one was good. And then a missed shot the other way from Holzer.
And Holzer feels like she's in a groove. She's going to start throwing up threes, and that one just missed a little short, but again, like we talked about, if Holzer gets a hot hand, she can make them in bunches.
Here's Hogan. Over to Calkins. Looking for anything to open up here. And nothing does.
That's a great job by Micaiah Johnson. Just attacking Raylan Richardson on the dead ball.
So now Jocelyn Moore will bring it up court. Steps back, sends it up top. Johnson's shot, no good, but Jade Warren the rebound. Warren puts it up and the foul.
And Warren just leaping up to be able to grab that rebound, and then just takes a pause before she puts it right back up and collects the foul, and another chance at one more.
Warren, the and one opportunity, and she drills it. It is a 25-point advantage for the Cavaliers here in this first half. Chukars looking for any sort of momentum swing they can get, so they'll try another three ball, and that one had too much on it. Here's Jocelyn Moore back the other way. Scott, nice move, gets right to the rim, and two more on the board.
That's a beautiful finger roll by Layla Scott, just again attacking the rim with precision.
Up and through.
That's Ashton Moore. It's 5 points for her in the early game, was finally able to break the crease of the Chukars not being able to make a three-point basket, and she's already got 5 freshly into the game, and that's why she gets enough playing time, because she's able to break streaks like that and is able to put points up consistently.
And then Layla Scott with a rare off 3 ball, ended up airballing. So now Treasure Valley will try to flip that back the other way. And Calkins will put a bucket on the board and try to get some momentum back onto the side of Treasure Valley. Jocelyn Moore.
It's kind of just an open lane for Calkins there. My bad.
It's Jade Warren. No such open lane for her opening up. So outside to Moore. That might have been blocked. And it ends up back in the hands of Warren. And Jade Warren draws another foul to add to her basket.
How about Jade Warren playing like a forward down there with a guard size, and that's just textbook basketball right there, the no-quit attitude in Jade Warren. That's back-to-back and one opportunities for the freshman out of Milwaukee.
And she's converted both of them. Up top for Mallory. Shot for 3. No good. Jocelyn Moore the rebound. Sending it up court looking for Ford. Ford tried to send it out of play and does successfully. Good hustle, Ananda Ford, to get that thing to glance off of a Treasure Valley defender.
Moore is just trying to lob it forward, but just left it a little bit wide, and that's textbook ball by Ananda Ford to just hit it off of Richardson to be able to keep it with Johnson County.
Shot not going to go. Back the other way, Cuff. Outside, gets it to Hogan. Hogan goes back to Cuff. Cuff will shoot a 3. Off the front of the rim, no good. Jade Warren adds to her rebound totals. Drives through 2 defenders and puts it up and through.
And just using the power dribble to her advantage and just having herself face the basket while being able to power dribble despite there being 2 defenders around her.
Yeah, and they were probably wise to make sure they didn't foul her that time, because the way things have been going, that's just adding a 3rd point to her bucket. Layla Scott then also drives the lane, because as it turns out, fouling Jade Warren doesn't actually prevent that ball from going through tonight.
Ooh, that's not what you want to do there.
No, an unforced turnover. Johnson County gets it right back.
This is a Chukars team that doesn't really turn the ball over much. 6th in the NWAC in turnovers a game, just 16 almost.
It's the breaks. Outside, Scott. 3, no good. Rebound taken by Ellick. Turns, puts it through.
Just beautiful off the glass header, back turned. Beautiful spin move to create some space. Be able to use the glass to bank it home.
And then a 3-pointer that just a bit offline. Last touched by the Chukars. It'll be Johnson County ball.
Kind of one of the questions I had is the numbers on shooting kind of like upper to mid in ranks of the conference, but this Chukars team is athletic top to bottom. My question was, how would Johnson County be able to defend him? And they've done it really well. And it's just the Chukars love to shoot from the perimeter, and they just love to try and drive in. And Johnson County's just done a phenomenal job of being able to get in front.
Right there, though. Offensive foul ended that last possession, so now we'll see if the Chukars can get anything going offensively. They'll try from 3. It will not go. They have not been hitting those this evening. It's not really been a particular strength of theirs on the season, so it's been interesting to see the sheer volume of 3-point tries they've been attempting here tonight.
Yeah, and 3-point shooting's not their strength, but they've shot a lot of threes tonight. They rank in the bottom half of the NWAC, 23rd, shooting about 24% from three-point range, but from the field they shoot about 40, which top 10 in the conference. And then also top 10 in free throw shooting, but they've just stuck with trying to shoot from the perimeter, just trying to play catch up with Johnson County, and it's just not worked.
And Ford couldn't quite get that drive to go, so it should be Treasure Valley for the final shot, and they get it. And 2 points right at the buzzer as the Chukars cut the lead to a mere 30, Brennan.
Yeah.
A measly 30 points for Johnson County.
Mere 30, yeah.
We'll step aside. Halftime show coming after the break here on Johnson County Sports Live, brought to you by Martin City Animal Hospital.
Back here on Johnson County Sports Live here for our halftime show presented by I-35, I-435 Self-Storage for our calendar update and look around the KJCCC. Just one update real quick. In terms of basketball, Johnson County women lead Treasure Valley 49-19 here at the half, but for the men's basketball team, they defeated Metropolitan to enter the break 13-0, 88-63. They will travel to Lincoln, Nebraska to take on Southeast Community College coming up here on the 4th of January, coming up this Sunday. In terms of what's going on around the KJCCC, Allen, the 16th ranked Red Devils, they play tomorrow against this Chukars team at 2 p.m. Highland takes on Metropolitan Monday at 5 p.m. Neosho will have a battle with St. Louis Community College Monday at 7:30. Crowder will take on the same Allen team. Tuesday at 6 p.m., Highland will take on St. Louis Community College at Wednesday. And then the first taste of conference play in terms highly ranked matchup between the 18th ranked Blue Devils of KCKCC taking on 16th ranked Red Devils of Allen. That'll start on January 14th, the first taste of conference play for every single team. So again, we are the only game going on here to start off 2026, but tomorrow it's the same Chukars team taking on Allen Community College. Again, your score, Lady Cavs 49, Treasure Valley Chukars 19. Again, that's start of our halftime show presented by I-35, I-435 Self-Storage. Attic offers climate-controlled units, RV and vehicle storage, plus clean, move-in, ready spaces. As a veteran-owned, community-focused business, Attic features monitored 24/7 with friendly on-site managers. Rent, reserve, and pay online anytime at attic-storage.com. We'll step aside for just a brief moment. When we come back, we'll give you the halftime stats. Coming up next here on Johnson County Sports Live, presented by Martin City Animal Hospital.
Back in as part of the halftime show here, brought to you by Attic Self-Storage here on Johnson County Sports Live. A 30-point Johnson County lead over the Treasure Valley Chukars. Well, it's not that difficult to see where one of the biggest issues lies when you take one glance at the stat sheet and see 2 for 17 from 3 points here tonight for the Chukars. Not that that's the only thing that's gone Johnson County's way, as Johnson County shooting phenomenally. I mean, they're almost 50% from the field tonight shooting. They're on pace to come, I mean, obviously just shy of 100 once again here tonight. The Cavaliers have been absolutely on fire, and Treasure Valley has just been cold from the start. You talked about in the pregame, Brennan, knocking off the rust. One team's been able to, and the other looks like they have not to this point.
Yeah, and I go to kind of the stats, and this is kind of the first time I've seen a team in the Chukars have the bench depth they do, 18-10 in terms of bench points. And for Johnson County, they've not really seen many teams that have had a solid bench like Treasure Valley. So this stat's really close by, but everything else, kind of one thing I like to mention as well, 26-10 in terms of points in the paint in favor of the Lady Cavaliers. And this is surprising because I figured that Treasure Valley would go to the paint more. No, it's just been a three-point attempt clinic from them so far. They've only been able to make 2 free throws on 2 three-pointers on 17 attempts, and shooting a combined 12% in the game, just 21% from the field, and then 25% from the free throw line. But Johnson County, 60% from 3 in the first quarter. And like you mentioned, again, this is a team in Johnson County that's been able to knock off the rust, essentially, and be factors in several aspects of their game. But for Treasure Valley, they just got to find what works. Just find any sort of way to get a basket, because Johnson County has been able to find several different ways. And kind of a surprise for me as well is Ananda Ford, only 2 points, but she currently leads the Cavaliers in assists with 2.
They'll send this one outside. This is Mia Adams. Pulls up, takes the shot, not going to go. And a rebound by Hogan, and that was desperately needed coming out of the half here for the Chukars, as that's another one that they were drastically outpaced in the first half, was the rebound category. Johnson County was dominant at getting that loose ball. And here Layla Scott will drive in, now kicks it outside, shot for 3. No good. And hey, how about that back-to-back defensive rebounds hauled in by the Chukars?
Yeah, and that's certainly huge for them. And you see Coach Conrad getting the next 5 on the floor, as so far it's just been back-to-back possessions for Johnson County that's not gone their way.
And Cuff distributes, finds its way back to her. She'll spin, turn back inside, and puts a bucket on the board. So the first points of the second half belong to Treasure Valley. Now Adams will try to bring it back the other way, and she's got a response.
It's a great job by Adams, just trying to work the paint. And one thing I love to see Johnson County do in the second half is defend the lane. Although it's 26-14 in the department of points in the paint, Treasure Valley's been able to find ways to get in the paint and exploit open lanes. So for Johnson County, they have to guard the lane, they have to guard the drive if they want to widen this lead.
And Layla Scott, that'll help widen the lead. Another three-pointer made for number 10, as Hogan tried to dish and was picked off by Layla Scott. To Ananda Ford, and a fast start for Johnson County after Treasure Valley struck first. Johnson County struck harder. And then that one goes well out of play. It'll be Cavaliers ball.
How about that for Johnson County? Up to their largest lead of 35 tonight. They led as large as 32. As with a minute and 19 seconds left in the first half. Already upping it to 35 in part to Mia Adams and Layla Scott, just turning on the burners after back-to-back missed shots.
Holzer over to Wilson. Wilson will shoot a 3. Airballed it. Barnes kept it alive, but there was only black jerseys in the area. Cuff gets it to go. Now up to Skyte Wilson. Pace of play's definitely picked up here, Brennan.
Yeah, in Treasure Valley, they have some athletes. And this is what the NWAC has. It's a bunch of talent up in the northwest area, in the western part of the country, that they're just full of athletes, and they love to have a solid pace of play. They can attack you from anywhere. And the really good teams can shoot the ball well, like Treasure Valley, but it's just not been their night tonight so far. And here, they're back at the free throw line, and they're finding ways to attack the rim, Aaron.
This will be Grace Hogan out of Driggs, Idaho. And you want to talk about being near my old neck of the woods at my last station there. From Teton High School in Driggs, Idaho. That was right across the border from Jackson, which was one of the schools that I primaried at that particular station. So very familiar with that area.
Yeah, Hogan, three-time Mount River Conference first team. Her team, Teton, has placed at state 3 times while she was at high school, starting as a sophomore. Second, third, and second. It was a 2-time all-state tournament team in the state of Idaho. So you talk about a player who's seen success in the western part of the country, and Grace Hogan, one of them. It's been a nice find for Coach Helmick.
And then Layla Barnes was able to find a nice shooting lane as she got right to the rim on that last possession. Out of play here, last off the Chukars, and it'll be Johnson County ball once again. Layla Barnes finding a groove here tonight. As Johnson County, Skyte Wilson brings it up court.
Another thing I want to add is this Chukars team. It's interesting that, you know, you have Coach Helmick leading this team in her 6th season. Spent the first year as an assistant. Layla Barnes cutting me off on my story there.
Yeah, another basket from Barnes. As she's now flirting with potentially becoming the 4th Cavalier of this game to hit double digits. And as we're trying to give Brennan an opportunity to finish this score, Skyte Wilson on the fast break back the other way.
It's impossible now because both teams are turning on the burners here.
It feels personal against you, Brennan.
Yeah, a little bit.
Outside for 3 and drilling it. What a shot from Riley Calkins. Well, maybe now they've slowed down a bit, Brendan.
Maybe so, yeah. Unless somebody's going to get a steal here. Well, no, it doesn't look like it.
So Warren goes right to the rim. 2 more on the board. They'll get it to Hogan. Tried one additional pass. That might have been one too many. Johnson came away with it and then is fouled.
All right, so Helmick is an Ontario, Oregon native, and media timeout. So we can stay here for this. We can stay here for this timeout. So Helmick, so her 6th season leading the Chukars, and has been an Ontario native all her life, and actually holds the all-time three-point record for the Treasure Valley Chukars. And you know, as much as her start to her coaching tenure didn't start off the right way, she's had a winning season last year, and the year before took her Chukars to the Sweet 16, but although it was eliminated the first round this year, she brings back a nice squad this year. And one of the players, or one of the coaches as well, the assistant, is in Sophia Legates, was actually a 2-time East Region Player of the Year, or Eastern Region Conference, all-conference mention. And what does she do? Instead of deciding to go play for, you know, potential Division I or Division II, or go to a 4-year institution, she joins Helmick on this staff, which it's an impressive, because there's not many stories like this, that you have players former players, for instance, be able to rejoin the school they went to and played for and come back and talk about a tradition-rich program like Treasure Valley out of Ontario, Oregon. It's one of those rare stories that you have former players who dedicated a lot of their time and as successful as Legate and Coach Helmick as well in their tenures with playing for the Chukars as an athlete and now being able to keep their tradition-rich success into the program as a coach. I mean, that's incredible.
And then as they tried to get that going back the other way, went a little bit too quickly, tipped out of play, so now they'll have to try to set this up off the inbound.
Also, kind of another interesting note is Helmick's dad, Scott, is also an assistant for this team as well.
Speaking of Scott, that was Layla Scott coming away with the rebound. Brought it back the other way. A jump ball going to be called. Possession arrow is with the Chukars.
Then again, of course, you can mention the same story for go to Katie Jones, who currently is the assistant coach for the Lady Cavs as part of that 2015 National Championship squad, and then just recently helped Coach Conrad coach this Lady Cavs squad to National Championship in last year, I can officially say, in 2025. So I like that, Aaron. You love those stories of former players coming back to coach in the same program they just played in.
Yeah, it's always a feel-good story. Creates a little bit more of that hometown pride, of course. One of my old ex-teammates when I was at MOBAP ended up staying there for a couple of years, coaching the tight ends room. As Layla Barnes, who happens to share a last name with that particular individual, ended up with that ball, but then a timeout called. 3:38 left to go here in the third quarter. We'll step aside briefly on Johnson County Sports Live, brought to you by Martin City Animal Hospital. Back in out of the timeout. Cavaliers lead at 66-28, as you can see there at the bottom of your screen. And it's going to be their ball off the inbound.
It's actually Coach Conrad the one who called the timeout. Kind of just needing to regroup with his squad on what he needs to see. So basically, it's.
Well, and I'm sure that was something you wanted to see. Corey Holzer drilled it from three.
And normally in the second half, it's when Corey Holzer decides to start knocking down triples. So already 2 away from matching 9 points. And I think they're going to call a foul on Holzer, actually.
Yeah, back away from the play.
It is on Corey Holzer. I was just trying to defend the post play and just leaned in over the back there and is going to be called for a foul.
Shot up and through. Nicely done by Ashton Moore. And then
that move from
Mia
Adams.
Adams adding to the Johnson County lead. Back the other way. Oh, nearly stolen there by Ford. Able to corral it. That one's out of play. It'll stay with the Chukars. Great work by Munch there to keep that thing in Chukar possession.
Johnson County not really known for their steals per game, but I think today it's just been really great of their active hands.
And they've been getting into the passing lane. They've just been picking pockets as well. They don't look like they bothered spending a single day of that winter break not playing basketball. I mean, you talked about the potential for rust. It is non-existent for this Cavaliers squad, but right there, a nice shot thrown down by the Chukars.
Ooh.
Adams goes to the ground hard off the foul.
Trying to go for the Euro step there and just got tripped up.
Foul the Chukars, number 2, Ashton Walker, second of the game, third team foul.
This is the first matchup ever between these two squads. And it's a really good test for a team that comes out of a 2018 conference in the NWAC that doesn't really affiliate themselves with the NJCAA.
And right now, wishing they perhaps continue to not associate themselves with the conference as Johnson County continues to pour it on.
And Aaron, I hate to tell you, this Chukars team is not going to stop going through the ringer yet. So this is their first of a 3-game stretch here in the Kent City area. They take on Allen tomorrow in Iola, which I wouldn't really call that the Kent City area. It's quite a drive from here, but they go to Iola, and then they finish their 3-game stretch against State Fair Community College. They'll travel to Sedalia for that, and this is tough competition for the Chukars in terms of competitiveness because you're playing 2 ranked teams off the bat, and then State Fair has been really solid this year.
First shot not going to go. Second chance opportunity off her own foot there from Cuff. Then it's Scott drawing a jump ball, and that possession arrow stays with Johnson County. I guess it's all relatively speaking, I suppose, because we wouldn't maybe consider that the immediate Kansas City area, but I suppose when you're coming over from the West Coast, close enough.
Yeah.
Or at least a West Coast state. They're about as east in Oregon as you can possibly get.
That's true, yeah. I did go to also Johnson County. You have a tough schedule ahead, and beautiful job by Layla Barnes.
Barnes is having herself quite a game here tonight. Came in averaging just 5 points a game, but she's going to potentially double that here.
Call Layla Barnes for a push.
Foul the Cavs, number 45, Layla Barnes, her first of the game, 13 foul.
Barnes is relatively disciplined.
What a steal from Layla Scott. Back the other way. She's going to have to try to protect it. Gets it out to Strickland. Strickland shoots a 3. Oh, my goodness. Kara Strickland finishes it off with some authority. A big-time 3 for Johnson County. Cuff tries to get an answer. Won't go. And now the Cavaliers can slow things down and try to potentially play for a last shot.
Looks like they will.
Yes, Strickland in no rush. Backs up, gives it to Ford. Now down low for Barnes. Barnes puts up a shot, couldn't draw the foul. And so likely going to be the end of the third quarter score of 78-32 as we head to the fourth here on Johnson County Sports Live, brought to you by Martin City Animal Hospital. Start of the fourth quarter here on Johnson County Sports Live. The Cavaliers have been dominant since the word go. It has been an impressive return to action here for these Cavs out of winter break. So that one's going to stay with the Chukars. So we'll get a quick substitution as Adams is out, Jade Warren is in, and Richardson to inbound for the Chukars. Actually, she'll jump back in, and it'll be inbounded there from Mallory. Down low. Two more on the board.
That was Mallory who had that inbound, just again using the speed and athleticism to just go around the defense and find an open lane shot. And Kara Strickland
adds yet another three-pointer to her night. This has been a phenomenal game all around from Johnson County. The offense has looked crisp. Richardson almost lost the handle on that. Instead, she drives that one, ends up out of play, and it'll be Johnson County ball. Just kind of rolled off her hand a bit funny and could not re-control it.
Yeah, I think she wanted to go for a spinning layup, but kind of just saw things a bit too late.
And a travel going to be called here against the Cavaliers.
Yeah, just took one extra step too many before going to the dribble. Just one of those few mistakes that'll happen, and back-to-back travels.
One of those few mistakes that'll happen in consecutive possessions, Brennan. Not often you see that one.
I think it's been a minute since we've seen one that you and I have called together at least.
And so we'll see if we can break the string here, and we will, as Jade Warren gets that one all the way to the basket without traveling.
It's one of those uninstinctual things, Aaron. Because the way this game's been played so far, you can't really slow things down because both these teams love to play quick in transition. And even so, whenever you kind of slow things down a little bit, you can't really slow the game down because both these teams are phenomenal defensive teams. So you just got to play quick through.
Speaking of quick, Richardson's got a race to get this off. She will get it just in the nick of time, but unable to get it to go. And on to Ford coming back the other way. Ford a spin. Sends it outside, open for three. Drilled it! Layla Scott!
Nobody came out to help Richardson there for a second. Everybody but Richardson was up the floor to try and inbound it. But how about a 9 to Ford? Although not really many points for her tonight, and she's done a phenomenal job of spreading the ball out, which is actually the specialty for the Chukars. And here's a turnover.
And Jade Warren is fouled. She's been well acquainted with the free throw line here tonight.
Yeah, her and Layla Scott have been the ones to really be able to go to the free throw line consistently. And Jocelyn Moore and Holzer in for Strickland and Scott, and kind of just a refreshed look for Johnson County.
And another make.
It's been the Jade Warren game so far, and she's been a phenomenal six-woman off the bench for Johnson County, which you really need someone you can rely on to come off the bench quickly for any one of the guards that Johnson County starts and be able to score. And you have Jade Warren, who does it all phenomenally.
They're going to try to answer with a three. That one off the front of the rim. Jocelyn Moore the rebound. Hits the break, sends it outside for three, and drills it. Holzer.
There's number two. There's going to be at least one more coming from Corey Holzer if we want to keep the trend up.
Got a quick substitution there.
Jennings will check in and play the forward role.
Now the Chukars trying to work some offense. For three, airballed it.
Just left it a little short there. Chukars didn't shoot it too bad from three-point range in the third quarter, but hardly been the fourth quarter from three-point range for the Chukars tonight.
Speaking of shooting well from three-point range, though that one's not going to go for Holzer. And a travel here against Knudsen.
Just a bit of a dragged on the pivot there. The referee saw that one clearly and right through, and so another one of those rare turnover games for the Chukars tonight.
Stutter step, gives it off to Holzer. Holzer sends it outside. Warren, Jade Warren, right up and in.
Just did it herself, just dribbled around everybody in the paint and saw enough room for herself to gather and put up an easy bucket you probably can make 1,000 times in the gym consecutively.
Three-point shot not gonna go. Rebound collected there by Jennings. Jocelyn Moore down low looking for Jennings, broken up. Now it is back the other way, the Chukars. Jade Warren's got it, and she's got a clear route to the basket. Two more for Jade Warren.
Jade Warren!
They're closing in on the 100 mark, Aaron.
Yeah, they've hit that number a number of times this season. It's become the new benchmark for a quality offensive game for them.
I think that'd be a highlight moment to start off 2026. Put up 100 points coming out of the break. You've not played in a few weeks.
And that one's broken up by Jennings, and she's going to get him a little bit closer. Quickly bringing it back up the other way. Richardson shot no good. Ford the rebound. Ford going for Warren. Warren keeps it alive, but she didn't have any cavalry. Richardson will pull up. She'll shoot a three. That shot clock essentially useless at this point. No one's using any of it. Jade Warren gets it. We'll see if she goes quickly. Kicks it outside Holzer. She takes a three. She drills another three. A timeout will be used. We'll step aside. 99 on the board for the Cavaliers here on Johnson County Sports Live. Out of the timeout, inbound here for Treasure Valley. Gonna try to drive the lane, sends it outside. Quick shot, drills it. Ashton Moore hits a big time shot to draw this thing back to 63. Skyte Wilson. Oh, unable to get that to fall.
Gonna call a foul.
Yeah, foul on the floor there. Going to go against Treasure Valley, I believe.
Yeah, it's going to be. We're going to call it on Maya Eskelson for a loose ball foul. But Aaron, you just look at how impressive Johnson County's been in this second half, doubling their largest lead they had in the first half with 32. They're up to 63 points, the lead, as large as 65. So just an impressive all-around night for Johnson County.
Holzer unable to get it, but the rebound collected by Skyte Wilson as they continue to look for that basket that's going to put this into three figures. Foul called there against Moore, so it's going to be Treasure Valley ball regardless.
Yeah, just came a second too late and knocked her knee into a leg. I think somebody was tying their shoe, and Jocelyn Moore tying her shoe, so referee had to call it back.
So we'll try that again.
Actually, no, I think his location on where the foul occurred is why they brought it back, actually.
Good movement here. Trying to see if anything will open up. Nothing does. Johnson County, despite the monstrous lead, continuing to play really hard. That's not going to go, and it's taken away by Moore. There is just not a single ounce of any sort of thought to ever take their foot off the gas pedal in this Johnson County squad.
Definitely not.
To Johnson, down low, Jennings, and she's fouled. So McKenna Jennings could have point number 100 coming off of her wrist here from the free throw line.
That's a beautiful, beautiful pass down low by Micaiah Johnson, just finding Jennings on that opposite low block. Beautiful bounce pass to get the foul.
And she drills it, so there you go, another 100-point game for these Cavaliers.
Another 100 for the unanimous #1 team in the country.
Subbing for the Checkers, number 15.
And games like this are exactly why. I mean, this is not a bad Chukars team that made this trip all the way from Oregon.
Not.
8-3 coming in. And Johnson County has made this look easy. Good movement here around the perimeter. Chukars couldn't handle it. Skyte Wilson comes down with the loose ball. Back the other way, trying to use some speed. Couldn't get it to go. She never could slow herself enough to get the control of that. And a jump ball called.
Possession stays with the Cavs.
Johnson County has the arrow.
This will be the 7th game that the Cavaliers have scored 100 or more points in a game.
Just one shy of half their games to this point. I mean, that's just incredible. Foul called on the floor. Looks like that's going to go against Munch.
Foul on the Checkers, number 20, Emmy Munch.
It's just 9-4 playing hard and playing physical. You're going to get that from her anytime she's on the floor.
Outside it goes. Why not shoot another three? Why not drill another three? Skyte Wilson.
Johnson County's just had their way from 3 in the 4th quarter.
Oh, and then Wilson makes a great defensive play. Couldn't quite turn it into a bucket, but it's back to Ananda Ford.
Essentially almost got double teamed there in the corner. Referee saw different things, so it's going to be a discussion. And
at the moment, it's just going to be an inbound for Johnson County. We haven't seen a signal.
I saw, I think, a number 3 on the hand of a referee. I think Knudsen may have been called for something. Maybe it's just an inbound.
Well, regardless, it ends up back in the hands of Ford. Ford, a drive, and Ford puts it up and through.
Conference Player of the Week doing Conference Player of the Week activities there.
Shot for 3, not gonna go. And now Jocelyn Moore with the ball. Foul called.
That's a beautiful dish right there. Jennings, who stands at 6 foot even, going to get fouled. Another 2 shots for Jennings here in the 4th quarter.
Just 2 for 2 trip.
The usual so far for Johnson County tonight.
And that one took a full trip around the orbit of that rim before finally finding its way back out. And now the Cavaliers with it. Final minute of play as they look to get that 16th win of the year out of 16 games played. It's been a fantastic start to this season for the reigning national champions. Rebound. Not going to go. Another rebound corralled here by the Chukars.
That time, Jennings got caught jumping a little bit too late, and that's Kimberlyn Starley, 6'2" freshman out of Spanish Fork, Utah.
She'll have an opportunity at the and one here.
Spanish Fork High School, home of the Dons.
Tipped up into the air. And the pride of the home of the Dons, able to get herself open down low in the post, but it's smacked out of her hand there by Jennings.
I'm trying to think. Is it UC Santa Barbara? That's the Mastodons? I think it is. Yeah, it's UCSB.
Jocelyn Moore brings this one up across half court. And it looks like content to just run this clock down to 0. Oh, and
trying to sell it there.
So one final play ends up with Stoneman on the court, and a final score of 110-38. Dominance from the Cavaliers coming out of the break. No rust of any kind to speak of. We'll be right back with the postgame show here on Johnson County Sports Live as the Cavaliers win in dominant fashion. post-game show here on Johnson County Sports Live, and not a great deal of analysis to add to a 110-38 final score here, Brennan, but, I mean, at this point, this has just become the norm for these Cavaliers.
Yeah, and 4 Cavaliers in double figures today. Layla Scott at 25. That was the game high and team high tonight on Jade Warren, 22 off the bench. Just incredible. No Cavalier for a double-double today, although Mia Adams, 14 points, 7 rebounds, and no assists, but she was one of the closest in Jade Warren, 22 and 7, 2 assists and 2 steals. Cavs had 14 steals tonight in this game, and Cavs normally, on average, about 9.5, which that's one of the weaker points for this Cavaliers squad is steals, which I wouldn't really call that a weakness. I'd just say they don't really have many active hands because they just play defense so great without needing to steal the ball. But 16 steals tonight or 14 steals tonight for Johnson County. Incredible numbers, and they really made the Chukars pay off turnovers tonight. 41 points off turnovers and forcing 25 Chukar turnovers, which Treasure Valley doesn't really turn the ball over that much. They were one of the top half teams in fewest turnovers a game, and forcing a team like Treasure Valley to 25, incredible. So Chukars fall to 8-4. They have 2 more games before they head into conference play. But yeah, it was an incredible game in all facets tonight for Johnson County, which they went 100% from the free throw line, 14 of 14. They didn't attempt a free throw in the third quarter, but in the first and fourth quarter they had 6 attempts and made all 6. So talk about winning a game in the best facet and making your free throws, which can really make or break how many points you score in your offense productivity. But it was just a great game, although the third quarter was definitely a little rough in terms of defensively because the Chukars had their best quarter ever. 5 of 16 from the field, made another triple in that quarter alone, and then went 2 of 2 from the free throw line. But just the Chukars' numbers tonight, 24% from the field, 11 from 3, 43 from the free throw line. But Johnson County, the way they respond, they had the best quarter of the game. Their fourth quarter, 69% from the field, 67% from 3, 100% from the line. I mean, you talk about responding to a quarter which you didn't really win, but you definitely made big strides in the fourth quarter, and this is a Coach Conrad team that doesn't take their foot off the gas in any sort of position they're in. And they did that tonight. 4 Cavaliers in double figures. 3 more additionally could have been close. Corey Holster with 9. Skyte Wilson with 8. Nanda Ford with 8. 8 points from McKenna Jennings. Skyte Wilson with 7. So, I mean, this is just a big win for Johnson County in terms of finding ways to dominate the game. Points in the paint, 52-20. That was a facet we kind of questioned, Aaron, on was that going to be a key for Treasure Valley having the height they start and come off the bench. But no, Johnson County, they attacked the rim like they do, and just Treasure Valley didn't find an answer for it. When you look at the bench points as well, Treasure Valley, it was a pretty close margin, but I think I really love Coach Conrad trusting his bench to be able to come up and play a team like Treasure Valley, full of athletes, full of talent. Give credit to Coach Helmick and her squad. Phenomenal job tonight and just trying to keep up with this Cavaliers team. But Johnson County responded so well in the second half, especially that fourth quarter where Coach Conrad let the bench play their game. And that's just huge props to what Coach Conrad's doing here at Johnson County.
Absolutely. He has been phenomenal since taking over with this head coaching job. Obviously, I mean, we talk about it pretty much every broadcast, but they are the reigning national champions for a reason. Graduated a bunch of sophomores last year. There was some thoughts about, obviously you've got a great team full of good leadership. How can you really hope to duplicate that, especially at the junior college level where you're only ever going to have 2 years of these athletes? I'd say they're doing a pretty phenomenal job to this point, duplicating their success from last season. As they get a dominant victory here over Treasure Valley, hold them under 40. Johnson County, for the 7th time this year, goes over 100 points scored, and a dominant win for the Cavaliers as they move on once more and get a big-time statement win to open up 2026. For Brennan Bolin, I've been Aaron Feely here on Johnson County Sports Live, and we thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next time.